Welcome to Mary Walter Radio. How is everyone tonight? Look at that. I did it perfectly that time. Didn't screw it up. So proud of myself. It's the little victories that make me happy. Welcome. Thank you to everyone who's joining us on. Thank you to everybody on Rumble they're rumbling. Thank you for doing that. Wendy Bell, Radio Army, being so supportive. Rich Cioli Army. I know you guys are there too. Thank you so much for joining me, being so supportive. Thank you to everyone who is subscribing. Thank you. Don't forget to tell your friends. Also, please hit the thumbs up button. Please like the podcasts. If you go back and listen to other ones or you watch old other ones, please be sure to like. I really appreciate all of that. So thank you to EB, who does all of my graphics for me. And thank you to our number one fan, his son, Zach. And a little housekeeping very quickly, and then I will get to my guest, who is such a sweetie. He was right on time, and I do appreciate that. Tomorrow, I will be on Newsmax for American Agenda from 2 to 4 p.m. And then Thursday, and there may be more like in there, but that's as of right now. Thursday, I will be on Wake Up America from 7 to 9 a.m. and then National Report from 9 to noon tomorrow at Newsmax. All right. So yeah, it's crazy 2 days, but it's going to be a lot of fun. So tomorrow, just American Agenda 2 to 4, and then Thursday, Wake Up America 7 to 9, National Report 9 to noon. And then I'm going to take a nap. Joining me, this guy is great. He has been here before. You know him, you love him. David Gelman, Esquire. He is a criminal defense attorney, former prosecutor. And you can find him on Newsmax, on Fox, and on Court TV. And you can also find him on X at DavidGelmanEsq for Esquire.
Well, thank you very much for that intro, Mary. And I did not know you're going to be in National Port on Thursday. You and I will be on together then.
Really
Yeah.
fun.
I'll be I'm the special guest there as well, so we'll be able to
Oh, yeah.
hang out in the green room.
Oh, you're coming in. You're going to be in
Oh
the
yeah.
city.
Yeah, I gotta get out of my
Yes.
house here. I gotta get out of South Jersey.
That's a long way for you to go, though.
The train's like 50 minutes.
So wait, the train from down there, from where you are, is
Yeah.
50 minutes to get into New York.
Yeah, it's
So
easy.
that's about what the
Amtrak.
same it is for me. But then you have to get from Penn Station over to Turtle Bay, and that is a pain in the butt.
Okay, yeah, that's a little tough sometimes, but yeah, like, take an Uber or something like that. It's like 10 minutes or so. It's not terrible. And then you go get
I
lunch
took it.
afterwards.
I tried to take an Uber in Manhattan once, and the guy didn't move. And I'm watching, and he's not moving, and he's not moving, and he's not moving. And I'm like, I got to be somewhere. So I started walking. And you can, if you try to cancel, the later you wait to cancel, the more of a fee you pay for canceling. And I'm
Oh,
like, he's not moving. He was just sitting there. And
uh,
and so in my book, it's a scam, because if you cancel, like if you wait like 15, 20 minutes and like the dude's not moving, you have to pay a fee, you pay a fine for that. And I'm like, well, what a great scam to, take the ride and then sit and do whatever it is you're doing and never move. And then if they cancel, you still get paid.
sounds like a pretty good gig, honestly, if you can get one.
I know, it sounds like I'm gonna start doing that, except I
Yeah.
refuse to drive in Manhattan, so that's not happening because I refuse to drive there. And I don't, and I would walk, like I would love to walk it, but it's like that's at least a half hour walk to Turtle Bay.
Oh yeah.
And and I don't want to get stabbed because that's a lot of paperwork. And
Yeah.
it
And the
messes up your
hospital, you don't want to mess
clothes.
with that stuff there right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm
Yeah.
with you. I'm with you.
Normally I would take like the train up to up and over. You take the one up and then you go the one line over that way. That's the only way to do it. It's not easy. So, all right, enough about Manhattan. I'm so glad I'm going to see you on Thursday. That'll be great. I
Yeah.
didn't know what being a special guest was. I'm a special guest on all three shows. I'm like, I have no idea what a special guest is, but okay.
You're gonna have fun. I promise you.
Does special guest come with a tiara?
Yeah, well, you are the queen, so for you, probably. Me, no, they give me a bag of chips and like, all right, here, go on.
Ah, but you are a squire.
Yeah, that so I do get that going, right?
See, I am the queen because Zach the guy who does EB does all of my graphics and everything. And he's such a great guy. And he did your
Mhm.
ad block and all that stuff. And he's wonderful. His son, Zach, calls me the queen. So I have to leave it as the queen because I cannot change it now because Zach gets
I
very
th
upset.
I think it's very apropos.
So I cannot change it. That is there for him. All right, let's go to some comments here. Let's see. Wow, Hermit was in early, 9 minutes early. Yitzhak married to the Kill Me show today, regular AM radio in the car. Fun. Yes, I did. Thank you. Which heard on WABC in New York. I love being on WABC in New York. It's like from when I was a kid. Like you're from South Jersey, so you're like a Philly guy,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I grew up with, WABC, and so that was a big deal when I was a kid. Sal heard most of it. Thank you guys. Really appreciate it. Squeaky turned in late. Rebecca is here. Let's see. Survivor's over on Rumble. He's rumbling. Hey, Scott. He's on YouTube, Facebook, and he's rumbling. I appreciate that. Thank you. Lots of rumbles, guys. Queen, you did a great job subbing for Kill Me today. Thank you. John is over on Rumble as well. Thank you, John. Thank you. Lexus is over there. Scott. Yitzhak wants to know, do you do personal injury cases and medical
I
malpractice?
I refer them. I refer them out. But if you
Uh,
have it, call me. You can call our firm and we'll get you the best.
well, Yitzhak is a lawyer. He gave it up, and he said
Oh.
he did it. He went to follow an honorable profession. If you ask him, and he wants to know how many New York street jihadis have you run into so far?
Oof. Not many yet, but I try to, just go on a straight line. I go A to B and get out of there.
Right. You just,
Yep.
but still, I'll tell you, I was in New York, and everybody knows this. I was in New York about 2 weeks after I came back from Israel, and I felt safer in Israel than I did in Manhattan.
I can
Like,
believe that.
right, I'm walking up 7th Avenue, and because it was right in where I was going, the club was right at Times Square where they were having this event. And people stand next to you, like, and you're going, and I just go, like, I like speed walk, right? Because I'm harder to catch that way. So I'm going, but as soon as you have to stop at the light, like you can't jaywalk it. So you got to
Mhm.
stop. Stop. And then there's people on either side of you. I'm like, oh my God, is somebody going to stab me? Is someone going to slit my throat? Like, you're like this.
You,
It's, really, the fear is real.
you got to have eyes in the back of your head there. I mean, like you just got to have it on a swivel, like just see what's going
Constant.
on because yeah, you
Yeah.
don't know what the heck's going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. John says, how about how great of a week our president has had? A week. It's been like a great 10 months. I mean, it's been insane. It's been absolutely insane. And we're going to talk
Yeah.
about some of that. Yitzhak says, safer in Israel. True. My daughter-in-law wants to go back. I would love to go back and visit. I really would. I just got back, like, because I stayed an extra week. I stayed 1 week with Newsmax. And then my
Mhm.
husband came over and we stayed for a week. I would go back.
I,
It's
I I don't
amazing.
blame you. I don't blame you. I've never been. I've I'm not the best Jew apparently. I really should have gone for birthright, but I missed that opportunity. So I do. That will be a something I do before I die.
Yeah, yeah. I had, just I couldn't go for birthright, um, in case you
Hmm.
couldn't tell.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, everyone there loves Trump. When they found out you were an American, they're like, "Oh, Trump, Trump, we love Trump." And I'm like, "Yay, good. You got the right group of Americans for that." We do
It's true.
too. So, okay, let's talk a little bit about the peace agreement. Let's talk about the peace accords. They've only done phase one, the first step, right?
Mhm.
They exchanged hostages. That was the first step. Now, Israel, I believe, is pulling back, and some of the Palestinians are flowing into some areas where they have previously left. But the president even said today it's contingent upon Hamas disarming. And
Yep.
Hamas has said that they're not going to disarm. They executed a bunch of people that they accused of colluding with the Israelis just yesterday or today.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this all sounds great. And, the Israelis are super happy they got their hostages back. And I understand that. But I just don't know how you How do you get all of the weapons out? How do you destroy all of those tunnels, their little hidey holes, because they're cowards, all their hidey holes? How do you destroy all that before they move back in? Like, especially if they're already starting to move in and they're gonna go to those places that Israel, like, retreats from, or Israel cedes to them as per the agreement. How do you destroy all that without just bombing the hell out of it first?
It's a great question, and I was thinking that same thing the other day, and I don't know how. I frankly I don't think you can if you think about it because
Yeah.
you can't trust Hamas. You can't. And they are
No.
and right now look, they were supposed to provide all the dead hostages as well. And I think they've only done like 3 or 4 of them. Is that correct? Something like that. So
They just found 4 more. They just found 4 more.
okay, all right. So like you can't ever trust them, all right? And that's my opinion at least. And I
I
think
agree.
Israel is doing exactly right. But the good thing is, look, number one, President Trump, he's not going to take this from anybody, especially from Hamas. He already gave them their warning, if you will. So if they don't come through with the agreement and disarm as best they can, I guess, then I think all hell's going to break loose. And the other thing is, look, there's an agreement and all these other countries are part of it, and all the Muslim countries, the Arab countries, so I think they don't want to have egg on their face either, so they're going to tell Hamas, look, game over.
Well, I think that's how they got them to sign this anyway. I read an interesting piece. It was Trump got them with 1,000 cuts. What he did with Iran, right? Iran, when they bombed them, like
Yep.
they got rid of their nuclear capabilities. So now they're neutered. And they were supporting Hamas, right?
Mhm.
So he slowly but surely got all of their ties and cut them. So now the cheese stands alone. And what are you going to do? Because we stopped giving aid to the UN. Israel stopped giving aid because Israel was giving a million meals a day
That's
to Gaza.
insane. That's insane.
Insane, right?
Yeah.
And they said to us, they said, could you imagine England giving Germany a million meals a day when they're being bombed by Germany? Like, that wouldn't happen. But
No.
Israel's expected to do it. It's so ridiculous. It's so twisted and so backwards. Um, and they stopped doing it because Hamas was ambushing the UN caravans and taking the food for their fighters. And taking the trucks. So how many times do you do that before you're like, wow, I'm not gonna feed my enemy. I don't care how much the world screams at me. I'm just not gonna do this anymore.
And
Yeah.
like, how could the world even just say Israel's doing the wrong thing? I mean, they're the ones who had all these individuals just massacred on October 7th. They're the ones who have just been fighting relentlessly. They didn't start this war. They didn't want this war, but they have to do something about it because if not, Hamas is just going to keep doing this again and again. They're going to kill all the Israelis they want. That's their MO. And you know, I don't think Israel is getting enough credit, honestly, for everything that they've done. Because the IDF, they are amazing. I mean, it's like our SEALs. They're that good, and
Oh, they're fantastic.
the intelligence they have. Remember the beeper thing a couple months ago or whatever. I mean,
Do you know that? Do you
genius.
they told us about that. That was 10 years in the making. 10 years in the making. And I thought that was one of the funniest things in warfare ever.
Well,
Hilarious.
that and also who uses beepers? I mean,
Well, they went to and then when they went from beepers, they went to the walkie-talkies and they blew those up.
I'm telling you, you can't make it up. That's going to be a great movie. Whenever whoever makes it is going to be a fantastic movie.
It's gonna be a comedy. Yeah. Just absolutely fantastic. And this audience has heard this. What would we have done? What would America have done if the cartels in Mexico, because Mexico is harboring the cartels, if all the
Right.
cartels in Mexico got together and decided to just cross our border and kill over 40,000 Americans, because that's what it would be proportionately, because Israel's the size of New Jersey with about the same population.
Mhm.
So if you extrapolate it out, it's over 40,000 Americans, and then took over 1,000 hostage. You know what? Right now, Mexico would be a beach, just a beach from north to south and east to west. That's it. That would have been it.
Mhm.
And other countries would not have blamed us for it, but because it's Israel, I don't get it. It's like TDS. They hate Israel. They hate Trump. I don't know. It's a brain worm. I don't know what's wrong with them. I don't get it at all. Suze has a question. Is there a Palestinian army that's not Hamas?
I'm not aware of it, although there
So
could be.
here's the thing. There's a lot of little groups, and this is why they're having a hard time finding all of the deceased hostages, because it's like a bunch of gangs. Think of it as like West Side Story, but in the West, in the Gaza Strip, right? So you got the Sharks and the Jats, but they're all working for the same cause. They're not enemies. They're all working for the same cause, but they got a lot of little groups. All right,
Hmm.
different neighborhoods. Maybe they don't like to travel, so they got little factions, and so they but they all want to see the eradication of Israel, and they want to see the eradication of the United States.
Hmm.
The Palestinian Authority does control parts of the West Bank, which are on the east side of Israel, because it's on the west bank of the Jordan River, which is super confusing geographically because it's called the West Bank on the east side. So, and there are areas that are no-go zones for anyone but Muslims
Okay.
and Arabs. Like Jews cannot go there. Israeli citizens can't go there. Obviously, Americans can't go there. But we had a tour guide who had a special pass because Jericho was there, and there are some other religious sites in those areas. And
Okay.
the Muslims do not play well with others at all. Like they will not. You can't go in the Al Aqsa Mosque. You can't go in the Dome of the Rock. You can't go anywhere that they control in Israel, Jerusalem, any of the holy sites. But the Jews and the Christians will allow anybody in.
Makes sense. Yeah.
But not every Jewish site. I think there's some, like women aren't allowed in, because we're apparently, one step above pigs, and we're not allowed in because we desecrate places apparently just by our mere presence. So that was a fun lesson when I was in Israel. That was a lot of fun. Like, oh no, over
Oh, I'm
there,
sure.
over there, and I was like, well, you know what? Screw your Western wall. I ain't going now. The men get the big side on the left because the left is considered closer to God. So the women
Okay.
get the right side, which is smaller and farther away from God. And I'm like, then you know what? I
Hmm.
ain't going to your wall. Goodbye. So
I got my own wall.
I got very mad with them. I was just like, you know what? We let everybody in and it doesn't matter. You do you. You wear what you want.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. That's why
So
we're the greatest country in the world.
Palestinians, though, the Palestinian Authority does operate some areas of the West Bank, and it was noted that on October 7th, they did not attack Israel. They could have. It could have been a two-fronted assault with Israel in the middle, and they did not.
Interesting. I did not see. You're like the historian of the
I learned
Israeli army and
I paid
Palestinian.
attention. I paid attention to
Yeah,
my tour. It was very fun. The
that's good.
Palestinian Authority, according to Yitzhak, has a security force, the other side of the Hamas coin. Okay. But I thought it was interesting that they didn't attack on October 7th, and they could have.
Well,
Yitzhak
good.
says, we will disarm them. Who is we? Only the Jews? My paranoia is showing again. You know, yeah. I don't know who we is. I guess if they refuse to disarm, like the agreement says, they're just going to come in and wipe you out once and for all. They're going to do it their
Uh,
way, because
they
Netanyahu said we could do this the easy way or we could do this the hard way. It's your choice.
they should honestly. They
Yeah.
should. They're not going to have a choice if it doesn't go their way.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Tribes with flags, Gregory said. Yeah. Um, there is no official, according to Yitzhak, PA army, Palestinian army. I didn't. Okay. Maybe they should have named that area the East West Bank. Hermit Salem,
Um,
graffiti on the Western Wall. No, that would have gotten me killed. I wasn't doing that. All right. So thank you for that, Yitzhak. Appreciate that. Suze says thank you. So, and come on over and rumble. Let's rumble, people. Rumble, rumble. Um, all right. That's where we are with this conversation, I guess, is everybody's just going to wait and see now what happens. Right?
I guess that's probably the only way to do it. Now, look, hey, we got the hostages back. That's the huge thing, obviously, and in my opinion, at least. But there's a lot more to go.
Yeah, exactly. It's great that they're back until they do it again. because they know that Israel will give them 1,700 prisoners back, people who have waged war on them, for 2 Israelis. And
That is true.
they've gotten used to that. They have gotten used to that. And I don't understand why it was not a 1-for-1. I don't understand it. Israel was in the position of power here with the whole world, the Western world, standing behind them. All of those Muslim countries, the United States, they should have said 1-for-1. That's it. And
Yeah.
if they keep rewarding bad behavior, they're just going to get more bad behavior.
Well, it's funny. I watched a program yesterday, or the day before, with one of the hostages. He was being interviewed, and he said that Hamas said to him when he was in captivity that they're going to do this again. That they're going to do this again in 27 or 28, whenever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope he's wrong, but I doubt it.
The border between Gaza and Israel, because we were there,
Mhm.
is literally a wire, just like a piece of wire, a piece of wire, a piece of wire, a piece of wire. You could just walk through it. Now, in other parts, there's razors, concertina wire on the top,
Yeah.
but I mean, nothing that a pair of bolt cutters ain't going to get through. So I don't understand. If I knew that the people on the other side of that piece of wire want to kill me, I'd probably reinforce it. I don't know, build a wall, make it a little
Uh,
bit tougher.
yeah,
So
walls work.
why they have not done that is just beyond me. See ya. I got it. Thanks. The IT department has to go to the hospital. Okay. Goodies here says, hello, everyone. Hope Steve put the seat down for you last night. My husband is known as Steve on the Wendy Bell show. Thank you. What do you think Iran will do now with this peace agreement in place? Oh, I don't know. I have no idea. I have no
I
clue. I don't think they're in any position to throw down the gauntlet to anyone at this point in the game. None of those
n-
countries are. Those
no.
they're being isolated systematically because you know it's Reagan had peace through strength. Trump has peace through prosperity,
Yeah, that's really good way to look at it, actually, Mary.
right? He's
I would,
like, we'll
yeah,
open up trade. Everybody can trade.
yeah.
Everybody can become rich. We can all make money. This will be great. Your people will make money. This is fantastic. So he's got peace through trade. And if they don't want to play, they're just going to be iced out. I think that's
Four.
what's happening.
I mean, yeah. If you think about it, look at the Abraham Accords. All these countries that are signing on to it, they're getting wealthy, and they're going to continue to get wealthy. And then
Yep.
you're going to keep getting more and more countries that are going to be signing on. I think that's the big. I think that in the grand scheme of things is probably the biggest thing we're going to get out of this. That
Yeah.
there are going to be so many countries that are going to get onto this that you're going to have as much peace as possible in the Middle East because of it.
Look at India and Pakistan. They've been fighting each other for forever. And Trump came in and said, okay, we're just not going to trade with either one of you until you figure this out. And they're like, oh,
Mm,
okay.
yeah, kind of worked.
And that's what he's done. That's what he's done with each one of these trade peace agreements. They've really been trade agreements when you come down to it.
Yeah.
Sue says that trade is alarming. What happened to we don't negotiate for terrorists asking for a friend?
Uh, different times now, I guess.
Well, it's interesting because we got to see Netanyahu, and we went to like the Knesset and to different people. And one of the guys, I think it was the speaker of the Knesset, because he was at the big signing and everything. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, we met with him. And so we sat with him, and they're telling us how we don't negotiate with terrorists. And, da, 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 da. And I'm like, point of order, because yeah, I kind of like remember you doing the trade thing for like not that like 2 years ago for
Hmm.
hostages. Like you did that, so you do negotiate with terrorists. So and Netanyahu said the same thing to us when our last night there. He we got to see him and he gave a speech. It was a great speech, and he
Yeah.
was really he was really fired up. But he talked to the whole we don't negotiate with terrorists, and I'm like, this I'm not going to raise my hand because that's bad and I'm probably going to
Y-
get stink eye,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I wanted to say like but you do negotiate for everybody knows you will give anything and give anyone up in order to get your hostages back, and that's your Achilles heel.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of true. It kind of true. And I look, we're in a different time now. Where this is. this is how you have to do things, and it sucks, but
Yeah. Yeah. Yitzhak says, my take is the captives are a liability at this point, and this was tactical. A global intifada has been sparked and Jew hatred spread to the streets. The goal of Islam worldwide, not good. Well, can I just say, hopefully I'm going to be dead by the time that happens, because I like to calculate. I'm like, how many years? It's a good chance I could be dead by the time that happens.
that is, yeah. Well, I mean, I'm hoping I'm, still alive sometime, but I'm hoping that doesn't happen. But
But right.
it may.
Right.
I don't think we have a choice sometimes.
Uh, Nicholas says, good evening to you and David. Thank you for the program. For the first time, I have hope for peace. Finally, we have a president that really works for our country, and all that is good. Very true. Very,
Mhm.
very true. We got to keep our fingers crossed for President Vance
You
in
ain't kidding.
2028 to keep it going. All right. So there's other things that we wanted to talk about. We want to touch on this. I don't know. Did you see the Charlie Kirk thing today? The awarding of the medal posthumously, the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Did you see that at all?
I saw bits and parts of it. Yeah, it look very moving. And I thought the crazy thing to me, President Trump flew back last night from Israel or Egypt, I'm sorry, to do this today. Like I don't think this was part of the his agenda, but as soon as he found out that it was Charlie Kirk's birthday
Yeah.
today, he's like, I don't care where I'm at in the world, I'm getting back here and I'm going to award him the medal, Medal of Freedom. I
Yeah.
thought it was really cool, and then you see everybody there. That I thought that was really neat to see. You know,
What was Javier Milei doing there? Like, what was that?
he was there earlier in the day to visit the
Yeah.
president, and I guess he's like, maybe I'll just stick around and see what's going on. I don't, I don't know. He did look a little out of place, but it was a really neat, a very moving moment, I should say, especially with Erica being there
Yeah.
and and accepting it on behalf of Charlie. It was very, very nice, very well done.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I will say that, first of all, Javier Milei seems like he's a good time, right? Like, he seems
He
like
does.
do you remember him on stage with Elon Musk at CPAC last year? I was watching it. It made the news that Javier Milei gave Elon Musk, because Elon Musk was doing Doge, and with the
Oh, I remember.
the chainsaw, and he gave him a
Yeah,
gold plated chains and gave him a gold
I
chainsaw,
do
and the two
remember
of them were
that.
on the stage with chainsaws, and I'm like, oh my god. Take it away from Elon Musk, please. But yeah, so he seems like a good time. He seems like
Yeah.
a lot of fun. One thing I will say though is, it was supposed to be about Charlie, and Trump went off script, as he always does. And I'm sitting here and I'm thinking to myself, is there a signal? Can someone give him a signal to, like, come on, bring it back to Charlie, because he was talking about all the wonderful things he did, and which I get it. He did it in 36 hours. I mean, flew over Israel. He was an hour late. I give him that, did all that. Then he goes to Egypt. Then he flies home, signing all these papers, doing all of this, making speeches. 36 hours. He's on Air Force One talking to the reporters. The man doesn't sleep. He got like 4 hours of sleep last night, and then he met with Malay, and then he's doing this and that. So I get that he wants to take a victory lap, but to me, this was not the place for the victory lap. Like, this was supposed to be about Charlie. And he's talking about, oh yeah, the crime on the streets. You can go walking down the middle of the street here in Washington, D.C. with your spouse, and you could go out to dinner. And he goes, but it's really hard to get a dinner reservation now in Washington, D.C. because we cleaned it up. I'm like, bring it back, Captain. Come on. Come on. Like,
That's a president, and I get where you're coming from, but I think he also wanted to point out, like, because Charlie was such a big part of, number one, where the president is today. I don't think
yeah,
the president would have been in the White House if it wasn't for Charlie. And I think
agree.
Charlie, and the president even says that. So I think he was trying to pay homage to Charlie in a way, I guess, with the policies that are happening, because Charlie was behind a lot of the policies as well and was a supporter of the policies. And I think the president was doing it in his own way. I get it. It's crazy as that sounds. I know, but I get where you're coming from, Mary. I really do.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Trump, I adore him. He cracks me the hell up.
Yeah.
He's He just the thing I love the most about him is his bag of give F's is just totally empty when it comes to the government. Like, so he has 0 F's left to give, which is how I feel at this point in life. Like, I'm like,
Yeah.
you know what? I don't care. You know,
Yeah.
like I'm just at that point. And he doesn't care like on a MAGA level, right? Like
Yeah.
it's so and it's awesome, and it's just fun to watch, and it's because especially he was so robbed in his first term, and I think he realizes that, so he's just over the top, and so I love him and I adore him, and I think that, you know, I don't agree with everything he does all the time. Obviously, I don't agree with everything Steve does all the time, or the IT department, as he's known here on the podcast. Everything the IT department does all the time. I do stuff, and days later, I'm like, "What the hell were you thinking?" Right? Like, so you don't agree with someone all the time, that would be weird, especially someone that I've only met once, like, that would be weird. So, but I was just like, I'm changing the bed, and I was like, "Oh, come on." And he's talking about the border and because Charlie said, "Mr. Trump, you said you're gonna close down the border." And I'm like, "Charlie, give me time." And then he goes on this whole thing about what a great job he's done on the border. So I don't know. Suze says
Yeah.
it was a bit overboard. Yeah. Sal says,
Yeah.
as far as I can tell, Charlie Kirk hatred from the left seems to be dying down for now. Yeah, they've moved on. They've moved on to hating
Yeah.
somebody else. Gregory says, I was waiting for 15 minutes about the new rose garden. Yeah. Oh, excuse me. The new rose garden. Paved Paradise put up a parking lot. People are very upset. They still have the roses. He didn't pave over the roses.
Yeah, it looks beautiful, at least from the videos I'm seeing. I mean, I don't know how anybody can. Well, I can understand how everybody's upset, at least on the left, because oh, this is such a beautiful thing, and that you ruined it.
Yeah.
You know, if Obama did it, you'll be, oh, it's great, but obviously, TDS.
Right. Of course. Of course. It is nice for women because your heels don't sink into the lawn.
Oh, I didn't think of that, but yeah, that makes perfect
Yes,
sense. See, look,
I think Melania had something.
you're probably right.
Yeah. Mango Mush says he said great things about Charlie, but it should not have been a time to pat himself on the back. Yeah, exactly. Sal says Trump seems to always branch away from the subject, it seems. Yeah, but he always comes
Mm,
back. Like he always brings it back and picks up
yep,
where he left off. It's amazing.
and he knows what he's
Nicholas,
doing. He really does.
oh, 100%. 100%. I think he's got a little ADD going on. I think he's got a little of that going on there. You know, I
Yeah,
think he's so far ahead. His thought process is something that I just don't understand.
yep.
That's why he and Elon Musk got along together. Could you imagine a conversation between the two of them?
Man, to be a fly on the wall.
Yeah, it would be awesome. Nicholas says President Trump is genuine. Exactly. And that's why the left can't stand him because they don't know what to do with a politician who is not a politician. And was
Huh?
so comforting to Erica Kirk that I sobbed when well, I couldn't sob because I was hosting Sirius's tribute to Charlie Kirk during that thing.
Okay.
I'm just listening to it and I'm watching it at the same time on C-SPAN and we're carrying the feed and everything. And I was like, hold it together, hold it together. Oh, it's killing me. President Trump is genuine, so comforting to Erica Kirk. God bless Charlie and his wife and the family. Turning Point USA is stronger now more than ever. 100%.
Yep.
They are Oh, here you go. Sal says they're upset because it's Mrs. Trump. And Yitzhak says the rose garden grass was high heels in the mud. Yes, exactly. Yeah.
There, you caught
TDS
it.
is the TDS is the STD of the Democrat Party.
I like that. I like that a lot.
I like that a lot, Sal. Goody also, where is it? I went past it very quickly. It was up and then it was down because we moved on. But Goody said that I am very lucky to have Steve. This is very true. That's 100% true. Don't tell him that. See, he's not here now, so he doesn't know. So it's okay. All right. I need you to put on your lawyering cap, your Esquire lawyering wig cap, whatever the heck it is you guys
Uh,
wear. All right. So Leticia James, did you see this story that just came out?
I did.
It was in the Daily Mail.
Hmm.
And but it was for exclusive subscribers only. So I had to wait for Citizen Free Press to pick it up and then give you a link without the paywall. So apparently, this house that she owns in Virginia that she's on the hook for, she's on the hook for mortgage fraud, basically what she accused Donald Trump of doing, which is
Yeah.
delicious. Which the Schadenfreude for me, honestly, seriously, I'm almost Schadenfreude overloaded lately, but I love it, so I just keep eating it up. So she said it was not for rent, but there's a tenant living there now. We find out, and this tenant It's reportedly her grandniece, Nakia Thompson, along with Thompson's three children, live in the three-bedroom property and have been living there since 2020. Now, the Daily Mail is saying that they discovered that Thompson is officially listed as an absconder. It sounds like such an old-timey thing, like a very
Uh,
Dickensian thing to be charged with, an absconder,
abscond.
who is being sought by authorities in North Carolina for failing to finish her probation. She was sentenced to probation for misdemeanor convictions for assault and battery and trespassing. She's a gem, and has willfully avoided probation supervision, according to Keith Ackery, Communications Director for the North Carolina Department of Corrections. An absconder is considered a fugitive. She faces arrest if she is located in North Carolina. He said her crimes of assault and trespass are considered non-extraditable due to their low level. So she told a grand jury in June that she had been living rent-free at James's home since the now valued at $235,000 since James bought it, claiming that James even pays for basic upkeep. So now we know why they got an indictment in the grand jury,
Mhm.
because the woman renting the house apparently testified to the grand jury that it is indeed being rented, but technically maybe not, because she's living rent free. So is it technically being rented? Ah.
Well, that's a fair question to ask. That's a
Ah.
fair question to ask. But I'd still say, yeah, it is being rented. You have a tenant. Tenants are responsible for, the general maintenance of everything. Now, even if they're not
Well, but
paying
she said
rent,
she testified that James pays for even basic upkeep.
well, that's true. But if a tenant is a tenant, and if you pay $0, that doesn't mean you're not a tenant. You're still living in that property. So I think that it's a open and shut case, in my opinion. She put on the application, on the mortgage application. Yeah, this is going to be my secondary residence where I'm going to be occupying. Nobody else. And has she
Right.
even stepped foot in that place? Probably not, if you think about it. And think about it, as an attorney, our job is to go through the paperwork, right? Go through every little thing, nook and cranny, and make sure that all the I's are dotted, all the T's are crossed. Well, when you are the head attorney of the state of New York, if you think about it, and just say, "Oh, this was a mistake," what kind of credibility do you have? It's next to nothing. And then the other thing, if you think about it, is she going to turn her grandniece in? Because she has a duty, if you think, to actually do so. She has a duty to say, all right, look, you got to go to North Carolina. I'll take you to North Carolina, but you have to go there and turn yourself in on this violation of probation.
Well, it says here that a tenant in Virginia is an individual or entity that occupies a residential or commercial property owned by someone else under a lease or rental agreement, paying rent in exchange for the right to use and occupy the space. Now, if there's no rental agreement and she's not paying any rent,
I would still argue that she's living there. It doesn't matter if it's rent free. She's still a tenant in this house. She goes there every night, and Leticia James does not. And nobody else and Leticia James has literally no, besides her being on the paper that she's the owner, she literally has no personal property there or anything like that. So I still think it's a pretty good case.
tenant does not include a guest or invitee.
No, she's not a guest. And she's certainly
I
not an
know.
invitee because if you're a guest is somebody who, comes in for a day maybe or two
Mhm.
days, not for what, 5 years now?
Yeah, I think, yeah, 5 years. I don't know. I see James getting out of this. I think she's gonna get out of it, and I think we probably all agree that nothing's gonna happen to her, and she's gonna walk away on this. But it's also, she's up for on bank fraud as well with all this. Plus, don't forget, she also put down that she was married to her father.
That's true. That's
Like that, I mean, who, oh, he's gone. Just like that, he's gone. I mean, who forgets that they're not married to their father? I mean, does anyone ever make is that like an honest mistake? Who makes that besides Ilhan Omar, who, the whole brother husband thing allegedly. But we're talking I just said, like who forgets that they're not married to their father and just accidentally puts it down, except for Ilhan Omar with the whole brother husband thing, but allegedly. Um
Oh,
So, oh yeah, and let me tell you, this Nakia Thompson, 36 years old, she's going out of the house in something that looks like, and she's got keys, and honestly, she looks like she's going out to get in a fight at Walmart. That's what this picture looks like. It's everything you expect it to look like.
I'm sure she's a real
So,
gem, real
yeah,
gem.
and there's Halloween decorations on the porch and everything, and so a big no trespassing sign. But she's obviously doing well for herself because she's, like I said, she's got Halloween decorations up and the whole thing. So, do you think
Uh,
she goes? Do you think anything happens to her?
I would say yes, but the problem is we are in Northern Virginia where the grand jury is, so that's where they're going to be held. And Northern Virginia is not the most conservative area in the world, as you're well aware.
No.
So I don't know. It's 50-50 at this point. It's 50-50. But I think that's just the beginning. I think there's going to be other cases against her because she has other properties where she's done the exact same thing. So I don't know, if they don't get her on this one, I think there may be other ones that, she may not be as lucky on.
Yeah, I think you're right. We'll have to see though. She's no dummy. She's in areas where I think she knows she's going to get away with it. Um, and Yitzhak here is pretty smart. Yitzhak said she's harboring a fugitive.
Yeah, I mean, technically she is.
Yeah.
Tec- Technically she is.
And Gregory says it's probably a verbal agreement.
Well, of course, they're not going to have anything in writing. How are you going to
Right.
have something in writing with a fugitive?
Yeah, Yitzhak says so the rental agreement is a quid pro quo. You take care of the money stuff and you can live there. Yeah. So, all right, so let's go from Leticia James. Oh my gosh, look at the time. This flies. Oh my gosh, I love talking to you. Okay, so James Comey. James Comey now. Here's another one.
Hmm.
And he's the same thing, Eastern District of Virginia, the Rocket Docket. That's what they're known for pushing them through.
Yep.
So he was the details of his charge of making a false statement and obstruction of a congressional proceeding. False statements to Congress, obstruction of congressional proceeding. The charges stem from testimony during a Senate Judiciary Committee hearing in 2020. All right, January 2020.
Right.
Excuse me, September 2020, because it was only 5 years. And the charges were brought by Lindsay Halligan, the U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia. She was appointed by Trump, and he had to fire the person who was there because that person said they weren't going to bring charges against James Comey or Leticia James.
Hmm.
And so he got fired. And so now they're screaming that this is, targeted prosecution, political persecution. I'm like, I don't know. Leticia James campaigned on putting Trump in jail. So
They kind of forget
cry
about
me
that part.
yeah. Well, it's different when they do it with a big capital D. It's different when they do it. So, Comey, of course, he's not afraid and, he's going to go through with this, but
Course.
his lawyers are still trying to get the charges dropped. You're not afraid and you want your day in court,
Yeah.
but you're still trying to get the charges dropped.
Yeah, but I think I read today that they actually filed a motion to say that Lindsay Halligan is not qualified, or she cannot be the U.S. attorney who's handling the matter. I don't think they're going to have a leg to stand on. I don't think the court is going to grant that. But hey, they're doing something. But I'll be very interested to see so part of the whole accusation against him is that he told another individual to leak all this stuff out to the press, right? Who is the other individual? Like, there's conspirators here. So I would love to know who we're talking about.
Yeah, well, we do. Well, this is New York Times, so I won't be able to read this. We do know because that guy testified that Comey gave him stuff to leak out to I think I want to say he's a
Oh, the
professor
professor or
at
something.
like
Yeah,
Columbia or something like that. But see, what it is it's going to be John Brennan's word against Comey's word, because Brennan said, no, I told, Comey knew darn well what was going on. Comey was in on it. And Comey's like, no, I didn't know about it. So I don't know how you're going to be able to prove that James Comey knew this was happening. If he said it, like, I don't know. How do you prove that? Unless there's a paper trail somewhere. I don't know how they prove it.
I think there is. I think there, and I think in the Comer, Representative Comer, I think he referred this, and I think he made sure he had all of his ducks in a row before referring this to the DOJ. And I don't think the DOJ would have indicted Comey out of anybody without having everything, locked, stock, and barrel. So there's going to be more things and more surprises, in my opinion, than what we know right now. And I can't wait to hear.
Yeah, I know. It's great because we're such dorks. Yitzhak says Comey was gleeful about leaking his DOJ notes on the Trump meeting to his dirtbag law professor friend who gave it to the New York Times.
He was.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. So now, but also this other shoe that dropped is the spying on the 8 Republican
Mhm.
congressmen and women, right?
Yeah, the
That
senators.
the spying on them, right? Which what was that? Operation Freeze or Frost something? They all got a names, whatever
Yeah,
it was,
yeah.
Frosty Freeze or whatever.
Mr.
Um,
Frosty.
yeah, that's Mr. Softy, and that's
Oh,
the ice
I'm
cream.
sorry, Mr. Salty. Yes.
um, but Lindsey Graham he is on fire about
Mhm.
this. Because the Biden administration, and I really don't think it was Biden, I think it was Obama, because Obama's the one that started spying on conservative reporters. Remember James Rosen and
Yeah.
James Rosen's parents, right? And he got away with it. And
Yep.
he's big on the whole spying thing. I think Obama is behind all of it. It's why he didn't move out of Washington, D.C. Arctic Freeze. Thank you, Sal. Operation Arctic Freeze. I think he's Operation Arctic Frost, according to Yitzhak. We're all in the same ballpark, though.
Look, I think I think it's very realistic that that Comey or that I'm sorry that Obama did was behind it. Look, Biden, I don't think he knew anything about anything because look at him and listen to how he talked. But I definitely think this was a carryover. Yeah, and I think it's going to all come out.
Yeah. No, I think it will all come out. Yitzhak, the lawyer, says the spying Operation Arctic Frost. Is there a FISA warrant out that would allow a double hop search? I don't know what that means. I'm going to assume you do.
I'll be honest with it. Double hop search. I don't even know what the heck he's talking about there. The FISA warrant, I get, but I think the FISA, if there was a FISA warrant, it was probably gotten illegally, just like the other FISA warrants were against President
Yeah.
Trump and at Trump Tower.
I wonder if a double hop search is something like you put your left foot in, your right foot out, the hokey pokey. It's part of the hokey
Probably,
pokey.
probably.
Yeah.
Hey, Mayor, I hate to break, I hate to run,
Gotta
but
go.
I gotta go. I gotta get a haircut, and the guy's upstairs. Apparently my kid's done, so it's my turn.
He comes to your house.
Look,
You so
when you're a
fancy.
celebrity like myself and you, this is what
When
happens.
you're an Esquire, they come to
That's
your home.
right. That's
Thank
right.
you so much. I appreciate
Hey,
you. I expect to see you on Thursday then, looking all pretty with your new haircut.
only for you.
Oh, thank you. I'll see you Thursday. Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Bye. David Gelman, you can follow him on X at DavidGelmanEsq. Nicholas says, oh, where did he go? Obama is 100% behind it all. He has no credibility at all. Mangle, I thought Arctic Frost was a feminine hygiene product. Are you single? Because that would explain a lot. Herman heard a ping sound. Are we being spied on by Operation Arctic Frost? No, that was just David leaving. So, all right. So that's that. Yeah. So, I'll go over it again, just so you know, because I have I'm going into the city tomorrow morning. So here I am. Wait, where am I? Hold on. Hang on. Okay. This is my schedule as of right now. Now, this is going to probably change, but if you're bored, tomorrow on Newsmax, I'll be on American Agenda from 2 to 4 p.m. tomorrow. All right. So that's all right. Then Thursday, I'll be on Wake Up America from 7 to 9 a.m. and then National Report from 9 a.m. to noon. So I'm going to be on Newsmax from 7 a.m. to noon, but like not the whole time. I don't think like, I think it's like a in and out type thing. Like, go hang out in the green room and then go back on set and then go back. So I think it's going to be one of those type things that's going to be happening. It's not going to be the whole time. So on and off. So I will be doing that. And then Monday, I'm back on the Chris Salcedo show between 5 and 6 on Newsmax TV. And then Tuesday, we're back here. Tuesday, we're back here. All right. Mangle said, my wife just cracked up and said, I should be. Now we know I should. When she puts up with a lot, I suddenly have sympathy for your wife, Mangle. All right. Thank you everyone for joining. Really, really appreciate you all being here. You guys are great. Thank you so much. I will see you, as I said, coming up tomorrow, Thursday, Monday. Have a fantastic weekend. All right. Don't get in trouble. And God bless. Thank you so much.
She's on the air. Oh, 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 beware. Come